This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
I think that we can all agree there has never been a time, at least in our lives, that has been so proving of the importance of having the right kind of plan because of how fast unexpected things can come right at you and therefore come right at your money. The conversation around inflation alone is proof of that. I mean, a year ago, we were barely touching on inflation. Like inflation, you mean like from the Carter years? It wasn't even a thing. And look at us now. We can't stop talking about it. And why would we? Because it's affecting so many of our wallets, Abe. This coming week, the Federal Reserve will apparently declare a more open assault on soaring inflation. CNBC's Steve Leisman explains.
They're going to take the most aggressive steps they've almost ever taken now to deal with inflation, try to slow the economy. For example, the Fed normally raises rates very slowly, like 1/4 percentage point every meeting at a time. But it's expected at this next meeting, they'll hike by 0.5 percentage point, something they have not done in 20 years. And there may be more than one increase of that size at the next several meetings.
That's the thing I think we've been hearing more about. How many of these increases should we expect to see this year, Abe? Leisman sees even higher prices coming because not all inflation has trickled down to the consumer yet. So if the Fed is being aggressive, then what do we as retirement savers need to be thinking about or perhaps even reacting with when it comes to being aggressive ourselves with our financial plans?
Man, Heather, if you are getting close to retirement or already retired, we have got to do everything we can do to build layers of protection around our life savings and to get out of harm's way as much as possible when it comes to all of the risks that can mess up the last 30 to 40 years of our work and our life savings. So we just had a couple call into the show and come into our office because they're here, and the gentleman and his wife have done really well in accumulating and getting here to retirement, largely in part because of the market just being up in such a big way the last few years, even the last decade. And he's realized, and they've realized that although they've gotten here where they've saved, close to $1 million and they're early to mid 60s, they're here. And as long as they don't really mess things up, they can retire successfully. He's also realized he has no idea how to transition, and they wanted a lot of help and guidance around maybe when to take Social Security, what to do with their pensions, how to invest from here on out, right? Their paychecks are going to stop, and they're now going to go into phase 2, distributions and taking money out. This is a brand new thing for anyone retiring. Wait a minute, I'm going to be taking money out, and maybe while the market's down, instead of maxing my accounts out and getting a match and collecting a paycheck and making $150,000 a year, that's going to end. And now I got to think about taking money out at the same time. Like, I can't even process that. All I've known is for 40 years doing the opposite, making money and stuffing my accounts and maxing them out and getting great returns and not worrying about the market. And all of a sudden, that's not the case now. So this couple, as with so many couples and people that call into our show and come in for second opinions, are concerned with all these things because it's a brand new type of planning, or at least it should be. And if the focus is just on investment management, Heather, and just continuing to grow your money, which is important, we're missing so many other important factors in a comprehensive, holistic plan. This couple realized that, and they came in with these concerns, and they came in really looking for a roadmap. Like, here's who we are. We have almost $1 million saved. We're going to be retiring in the next 24 months. They live in Bristow, Virginia, out near Manassas, Gainesville, Warrenton, about 30, 40 minutes from our office. And they just needed guidance. They needed help. They have a lot of popular funds in their plan, like Vanguard funds and Fidelity funds and things like that. Most of the common things, but without a plan. And so concerned with inflation, concern with market risk, concern with making the right decisions at the point of retirement. And so with these rates going up and with the Federal Reserve also supposed to be tapering and pulling money out of the system, the markets haven't started off the year too hot. And most people are down somewhere right now between 5 and 15%. And a lot of people don't like it. And a lot of people are having trouble stomaching the loss.
Right.
But if we have a plan, if we have a long-term plan, we know that the markets are up and down. And if we have a plan for the good times and bad, and if we have protections built in to help us with inflation, with market volatility and market risk and losses and all these things, we know that the markets are going to be up and down. It's healthy. It's normal what's happening right now. The markets just don't continue to go up forever. But when we have a plan and we have a roadmap and we've planned in advance for the good times and bad, it's a lot more helpful. So that's what this couple was looking to do, to build a proactive plan to help them cross over the finish line, and then for this plan to last them. And one of the most important things the husband told me during the appointment is that he wants his wife taken care of and his son taken care of when he passes. He's a few years older than the wife. More than likely, he will go first and the wife will outlive him. And the wife just doesn't really have a lot of desire to keep up with all the intricate details of the finances and everything. So he said, hey, one of my number one goals is making sure my wife and my son is taken care of. Should I go first? And that's obviously part of the overall plan. So if you're listening right now and you sound a little bit like this couple, you're retiring soon, maybe you feel like you've done a good enough job to get here, you have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million saved, $500,000, whatever it is that you've saved, but you need a plan. You're unsure of a lot of the decisions that you might need to make in the next few years. When to take Social Security. Do you take a pension or not? Do you downsize your home and sell and move down to Tennessee or the Carolinas? It's so many decisions you are faced with right now at the point of your retirement that you're not faced with when you're 40 years old and 50. If you sound a little bit like this couple, you want some direction, you want some guidance around putting a phase 2 comprehensive retirement plan together for you. If you are 55 years older and if you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, then go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and our team will reach out to you and we'll begin similar conversations with you as well.
All right, so things like a market adjustment, even inflation, we can anticipate some bigger factor economic things within our Plan A, but most people aren't planning for an unexpected financial shock in retirement. Yet a new survey found that about half of pre-retirees and 40% of retirees have experienced one, like the need for a new roof or extensive dental work. And for some, these shocks have reduced their assets by 25% or more, and their spending power by 10% or more. How do you factor these kinds of unexpected events into an overall financial plan?
Great question, Heather. Well, you need to have a comprehensive plan that addresses more than investments, right? If you just focus on investment management and growing your investments, your 401ks and IRAs, and you're not factoring in all of the other things that can happen in a comprehensive plan, like planning for healthcare, planning for emergencies, planning for taxes, planning for inflation, planning for a legacy, estate planning, all of these things should be planned for and put together in a comprehensive plan. So we just had a couple call into the show. They live in Ashburn, Virginia, where we're headquartered. They're in their mid-60s. They've saved $1.3 million, and they had similar concerns because they didn't have a comprehensive plan put together. And these types of emergencies happen in retirement as they do while we're working, right?
Sure, yeah.
And so they were just letting me know that their whole kitchen floor was torn up. They had water damage. It's
you have
I'm
to
laughing
laugh,
with
right?
I'm laughing with them because at the same time I'm thinking of I went on a trip, and this always happens when I go away from the house, Heather. Long story short, Shelly calls me up and there's water pouring through our middle floor bathroom. She had overflowed the bathtub in our master bath. And I'm in Florida. I'm like, Shelly, of all times, I'm out of the house. I'm at the beach trying to relax. Well, these emergencies happen all the time. It happened to this couple here in Ashburn, too, where they had water damage. Their whole kitchen floor was torn up. They were saying, well, hey, we got $20,000 to $30,000 in repairs. You know, where should we pull our money from? Well, when you have monies in buckets and set aside for different purposes, you'll have a plan. So number one, you need to have an emergency fund. You need to have funds set aside for just reserves, right? That rainy day, your water heater is going to go, your AC unit or furnace is going to go.
Yep.
You're going to need a new roof. You're going to need a new car. And you don't want to have to tap into your market-based investments for emergencies if you can help it, because the markets might be down, and then you don't want to be pulling money out while the market's down at the same time.
Right.
Well, along the same lines, Heather, you want to have money set aside for income that you can enjoy in retirement. You might also want to pass money on to your family and loved ones, and so you want money set aside for legacy. You may want to set aside some monies for a healthcare event and for growth as well. We could live another 30 to 40 years.
Right.
So if you're a little bit like this couple and you're listening right now and you realize, wow, there's so much that is involved in a comprehensive retirement plan that maybe I haven't thought about, or I have thought about but I haven't planned for yet, like these emergencies and healthcare events and all these things, just market volatility in general, a comprehensive holistic plan planned for you by a fiduciary firm can be super helpful.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com and join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.